Okay, so the top button is up, so that means we're talking about the United Kingdom. I did not get to see NXT UK Takeover live. I ended up catching it the next day. I was in Chicago for a retirement party. NXT UK is so good. I mean, if this is the progression of the NXT multiverse, or just the territory expanse that Drew wants to do, this is perfect. I love how the faces get cheered, the heels get booed. I almost wish that the announcers, and Nigel does a great job with this, help you figure out what the chants are. Because across the pond, we have like 3 and 4 beat chants. Like, be rhythmic clapping, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or, we're not chanting, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. UK folks sing bits and pieces of songs. Took me a while to figure out, if you don't like Zach Gibson, take your shoe off. That's a lot to try to catch and get a whole crowd chant at the same time. So we'll begin with Mustache Mountain. So Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. Strong young boy. Taking on Liverpool's #1, Zach Gibson. And Drake. Okay. You can tell there's time in between when they do the tapings, because you see certain talent get a lot more defined and developed. I absolutely love the way Zach Gibson wrestles. Gibson is just fantastic. He wrestles a heel style. The crowd gives it to him because he's a heel. He gives it right back to the crowd. But there's that mutual respect. Like, the crowd wants him to run them down, and he wants that response. And what I like about them using Mustache Mountain is this is a great way for Tyler Bate to look like an absolute Superman and not be in a singles match. And not throw a big independent. Trent Seven is the older statesman. He is the face in peril. And he has such a good psychology background that when it was that he was in Shankly Gates and you're watching it going, oh, he's gonna tag. And he does that, and it's just that raw emotion of, I feel like my arm is being torn off. And the brain body connection's like, this hurts too much, just tap. But the fighting spirit's like, no. If you tap, you lose the tag belts. This tag match was amazing. And I was thinking, I'm like, will they give British Strong Style all the belts? And I was like, then who do they feud with? If the heels win this, Mustache Mountain gets to do the chase. And there are other face teams that Gibson and Drake can take on, that can put on good matches, won't feel like a threat. And it allows Mustache Mountain to be that team that you know is going to defeat them eventually. But that way then it plays the long game. And brilliant match. I love just the continuity you've got between Gibson and Drake is beautiful. The heart, determination, and will of Mustache Mountain is also just brilliant. So, of course, take out Tyler Bate with what effectively is like a suicide dive doomsday device on the outside. Looked wicked. Then Trent Seven tries to do everything that he can. Not enough. 1, 2, 3. Heels are your tag champs. Solid opener. Got the crowd going. Jordan Devlin, the man whose head is 2 sizes too big for his body, taking on Travis Banks. But he beats up Banks in the hotel. And then attacks him before the match officially gets started. Sid Scala, who is brilliant as the mouthpiece for Johnny Saint. Johnny's holding the tag belts and he stops like here. And you can tell he's like, that's as far as my arms go. So Sid Scala gets to be the person who does the talking But Johnny Saint just throws just enough to be like, you two, my office, now. So he gets to be that stern, authoritative figure, but he's got the person who does the day-to-day work in front of him. They're like, oh, Dev, you're the greatest Irish wrestler of all time? Yeah. Okay. Got a guy. I think disagrees with you. Roof flies off. It's Finn Balor. I loved the fact that Jordan was in, he was in white trunks and black boots, and Finn was in black trunks and white boots. Just that weird color contrast. Sit there in the back and like, what are you wearing? All white. What are you wearing? All black. You want? Switch boots and kick pads. Why? It's a color contrast. Black and white versus black and white. First, I'm like, this match can be a squash. It'd be weird to be a squash. They built up Devlin for so long to be this, never bet against the ace. Easy, quick, snappy. He comes like a guy you want to see get beat. And he puts on matches where it's really close to him getting beat, but then he wins because he's just that good. Match with Balor, brilliant, beautiful. Crowd loved it. I liked the false going for the finish spots. He hits coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. 2 matches in, 2 matches perfect. Now we get to go to Dave Mastiff and Eddie Dennis. Not digging Eddie Dennis. There's something about the, I'm a psycho. Joseph Connors is doing something similar. Saxon Huxley is doing something kind of similar. Wild Boar is also kind of similar. You got a lot of people who are doing the, manic madman sort of bit, and his just doesn't come off. It's probably because there's people who do it significantly better, and he's okay at it. It just feels off. Dave Mastiff, I love how when they film him walking, they shake the camera because he's that big. He's like a mini Vader. Love it. This is their no DQ match. I enjoyed the build-up for this. Eddie Dennis was undefeated, takes on Bomber Dave Mastiff. Mastiff beats him. And then Dennis is like, no, I was the undefeated one. Begins to attack him. Mastiff's getting ready for a match. Normally his opponent's in the ring, he gets announced. Eddie Dennis attacks the guy. Eddie Dennis is waiting for an opponent. Mastiff attacks the guy. It's really simple, you beat me and I'm mad at you. I want you to know that I'm mad at you. I want to tear you apart. You know what? I too want to tear you apart. Johnny Saint, you want to tear each other apart? Fine. No DQ match, sell it in the ring. That simple, easy booking. Nice use of the kendo stick. Nice well-topped Mastiff. I will say Mastiff is incredibly agile. The double springboard moonsault that he went for was absolutely incredible to see a man of his size pull it off. Even a smaller person pulling that off is amazing. The strength that Eddie Dennis was able to throw out too. Walking Mastiff in effectively a crucifix powerbomb sort of position. When he went for his, effectively kind of like the reverse DDT, effectively. But he's had to lift his body up. And you see him lift him up, and you can tell that Dave Mastiff's helping him. But Mastiff was the gatekeeper in lots of European, lots of UK promotions, so it makes sense. He's the person who puts on a good match and can make you look good as well. So the table gets set up in the corner, I'm thinking, I don't picture Eddie Dennis power bombing or doing a power move to get Mastiff through there. Mastiff's got a cannonball. Trade some shots. Eddie Dennis standing near the table. Cannonball through the table. Mastiff wins. They did an outside spot where they landed on the hardwood floor. It's good. Hard hitting, worked, got the job done. 3 for 3. Women's match. This is again where you can tell that there was time, because all of a sudden now, Rhea Ripley, you see a lot more definition in her. And it's weird because you have the blonde rock girl and the blonde rock girl. One has tattoos, one has piercings. I should say noticeable piercings. Noticeable tattoos. It's like, huh. And of course, my daughter, who does not like watching men's wrestling, she likes women's wrestling, was enamored watching two women go out there and beat the daylights out of each other. Men's wrestling, not as much. Women's wrestling, yes, that is what she likes. And the fact that there's two blondes and she's a blonde, she didn't know who to root for. Because remember, she just roots for the person who looks more like her. I love the Riptide as a finisher. I'm surprised we don't see men throw out that move. A pump handle powerbomb just looks so impressive. So impressive. See a Riptide, kick out. I was thinking, okay, means we're going to see Stormzy going to kick out. Stormzy's going to kick out. Great back and forth. At least two of them gave it their all. And next thing you know, another Eye of the Storm. 1, 2, 3. Tony Storm's champion. Oh, I love that they do. This is the NXT 205 Live NXT UK thing. The matches are given time to breathe and develop. So they're doing these really hard combinations of moves. And it's not just like, finisher, go for a pin. Unless your finisher has a pin element to it. It's like, finisher. Match has been going on long. There's that, like, second or so break. And then there's the pin. So someone kicks out, it's like, oh, well, that might have beaten them had they pinned them faster. But the fact that the crowd, this match has been going on, they go for the pin. They can't put all their force into it because they're tired. They don't want to put too much force into it, so if they kick out, then the match keeps on going, then they waste energy. So there's a whole additional layer that's thrown into it when you're not doing like, oh, this match is going to be 10 minutes. You're going to win, put the title belt over your head, opponent's going to roll outside the ring. Maybe you look back at the ring as he's walking away. We're going to give you like 30 seconds and scene. No, everyone's given time to. Tony's holding the belt. She's shaking, she's visibly crying. You can tell it's a moment of pure, unadulterated elation that she is now the champion. And the fact that her outfit perfectly coordinated with the belt, I just don't care. It's just great to watch. Really, really great to watch. Like, you know, those two, when it was done, my first thought was like, man, I'm looking forward to that time when Ripley jumps across the pond and Ripley becomes the up-and-comer, taking on the established Charlotte Flair. Then you have just two Amazonian women, which is raw power. Which will have more power on Ripley's side, a little more technique on Charlotte Flair's side. Or Ripley Lynch. It's like, man, they have got some talent brewing in NXT proper and NXT UK. Like Xia Brookside. There is some female talent that they're slowly developing. That some small tweaks here and there. It's gonna be like checkbooks walking across. They have the license to just cut checks and make money. So then we get into our main event. The leader of Gallus, the Iron King, Joe Coffey, taking on the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. They did a brilliant job when they did the contract signing. It was Joe Coffey with his man bun. Dressed well, like he was going to an actual contract signing. Running down Pete Dunne's like, this is my kingdom, I'm taking your title, that's it. Dunne's like, you talk too much. Break his fingers, sign a contract. Gallus comes down, distracts him, I put you through a table. Both guys get a bid in. Joe Coffey seems like he's a threat. Pete Dunne seems like he's somebody who at any point in time can sneak one in, and now all of a sudden you're like, yes, this is not from a bandsaw. This is from Wrestling Pete Dunne. My pinky's in a jar in his office now. Yes, I picture he probably has a jar full of like small body parts. Yeah, there's some wrist bones, there's, you know, like a shin bone, there's like a part of a patella. And watching Pete Dunne's evolution, having been there when he won the NXT UK title in Chicago, when he came in as the heel, And the crowd's cheering him because he's just way too good at his job. And he looked around and he went, looked to Tyler Bate went, I'm going to go with it. Joe Coffey came out looking big, strong, and imposing. I love that. I'm taking you down for a move. No, Coffey's just way too strong. Coffey got to constantly try to apply his power game, while you got to have the technical savvy of Pete Dunne. Great. Beautiful back and forth. When this match was done, my first thought was, I don't think Triple H is super concerned. It's like, oh, we didn't get Kenny Omega. He's the best wrestler in the world. He has the best bout machine, but we've got some guys here who are really close and are a lot easier to get into an American style. I mean, the counters, the reversals, both guys playing to their absolute strength. The sit-down powerbomb on the apron. Whatever spot they're trying to the top rope. First I'm thinking, oh, he's kicked out of better end normal. Kicked out of the discus lariat. Okay. On the top rope. Are we going to see a top rope bitter end? Coffey falls to the floor. Okay, that seemed like that was planned out. Go back up again a few minutes later. They both fall down. That doesn't feel like that was planned. Are they that exhausted? They're at other ends of the ring. Pete Dunne can barely get up. Coffey's using one arm because his other arm's just so beat and his hand's been torn apart. He just can't grasp the rope. And I'm like, oh, it's great psychology. Crowd is standing there like, oh, the other side of the ring just start swinging away at each other, just headbutts, and it felt like we were back at minute 0 of the match. But then all of a sudden you see Dunne just firing off lefts and rights. Coffey's getting, dazed. Coffey is now he's leaning on like the second rope, can't even stand. Pete Dunne throws like one more punch. His flurry is done. He's out. He's laying on Coffey as Coffey's laying on the second rope, slowly sliding down. And I'm going, it's absolutely brilliant. Zero out, and this is professional wrestling. It's raw physicality. There's emotion involved. There's psychology involved. The two of them are exhausted. They're beaten. They're winded. But neither one of them are giving up. They're two rams, two bulls who have put their heads down, dug their heels in, and are going to slam each other until one of them stops. And they're both going, you will break before I do. And after a third bitter end, Dunne rolls him over. He's got him in like a partial triangle, and he grabs like a finger. He's like, you're never typing again. He just bends that finger back, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And he's like, pick up. And then Walther comes down, absolute mountain of a man, with Joe Coffey standing there like, no, this is my big boot. Walther staring at Pete Dunne. I was like, don't hit it. Let this be that moment of you look at him, and there's that connection. But it's that moment of, I want your title. I want you to be fully rested when I take it, so there's no excuses. Brilliant. Perfect. I think now we've got a runner for like, well, who did the best pay-per-view of the month? Was it WWE Proper? Was it NXT or NXT UK? I think now NXT and NXT UK are going to be swapping back positions 1 and 2, with the Proper kind of going, I mean, we gave you a 6-hour show, what more do you want?